Hello there, welcome to another ramble. It's been 2 weeks, I can't believe it. Time flies by when you're doing other stuff, I suppose. Today's recording is going to revolve around a quote by RUMI, the Persian poet. How does it go? Shucks. There are two that are never satisfied: the lover of the world and the lover of knowledge. So let's just kind of digest that thought. So the way I interpret this is, so people who love things of this world, never satisfied. From one angle, you could say that, you know, they're constantly consuming things and it's never enough, and so they're always striving for more and more and more, or they're trying to hang on to more and more and more. And I think if you've watched my previous recordings, I say nothing in this world is permanent. It's all very fleeting and transient. So if you are attached to things of this world, that will lead to much suffering. The second part of that thought is lover of knowledge. So I feel like people who love knowledge, they're a little bit, I want to say, advanced than the lovers of the world, you know, because they've analyzed and dissected and ruminated, get it? Ruminated over the things of this world. But then on a cerebral level, they're also not satisfied. They're constantly striving to know and know and know and know, you know, and they're never satiated, because you can never really know everything unless you've come to, I feel, a point in life where you realize that everything just is. In previous recordings, I said like there's over 6 billion people on this earth, and everyone is having their own experience. They're all viewing everything from their own point of view. So what really is the truth? I think it's a culmination of everyone's point of view. But if you live in the realm of duality, where you're still kind of like, you know, you're right, I'm wrong kind of like mindset, then suffering occurs. I feel like it takes a great and noble person to be able to understand and digest and accept the various points of view, and to know them as all fragments of truth. So, you know, everyone's point of view is their truth. You know what I mean? So your way is not absolutely correct, and neither is someone else. It's just like a different point of view, you know, in this multi-dimensional reality. So yeah, I feel, I don't know, I've done both. I've experienced both spheres up until now, and I've kind of risen above that. I go mostly off of intuition, and I function predominantly from my heart space. And what does that mean? When I function predominantly from my heart space, does that make me a emotional or dramatic person? No, it doesn't. It actually helps me to see things more clearly. Because if you're functioning from your mind, you're constantly dissecting and dividing and, you know, just cutting things apart, you know. When you function from your heart, you can get out of your mind and see someone else's point of view, understand it, accept it, digest it, and, you know, there is no, how do I say, conflict. You know, there's no conflict. You just honor and respect everyone else's point of view. And you realize that we're all here to, how do I say? We're all here to bring different angles and dimensions and contrasts to what this is. You know what I mean? It's kind of like looking at the same object from many points of view. And it's funny because, for instance, I don't know if I can explain this well, but I could be looking at a flower, and I could be looking at it close up, and I could notice all the fine details of it. And someone else could be looking at it from a distance and, you know, miss all those details. And you could see someone that's looking at it, at the flower from above, from the side, from below, you know, looking at the roots, looking at the stem, looking at the leaves. And we're all going to see different things, but it's the same thing. I think there's an analogy about an elephant, like 4 blind men. They're how do I say? They are feeling out an elephant, and one blind man grabs a hold of the trunk, one blind man grabs a hold of the tail, one blind man grabs a hold of the foot or the leg. And I think, like, I don't know, maybe there's only 3 blind men, who cares? But anyways, they all have their own interpretation of the same animal, and they are all correct. You know, so yeah, that's what I consider functioning from the heart space, you know, just being able to respect and honor someone else's point of view and acknowledge the fact that you guys are all looking at the same thing differently, but it's the same thing. You know, and I think that's why we are here as a collective consciousness, so that we can become more holistic. And I keep saying that, you know, if we can exchange ideas and exchange points of view without having this conflict or division on who's right or who's wrong, you know, we can get a clearer picture of what we are dealing with. And we can never know anything, because what was is not now, and so forth, you know? Anyhow, I think people create their own problems when there really isn't a problem, you know? I think for me, predominantly, if there is a problem, well, there are no problems, right? There's just ways of dealing with the situation. But I notice a lot of the people I encounter create so many problems, and it's because they're not functioning from their heart, they're functioning from their head. They're functioning from their ego, and they're not able to see beyond that, and so it creates much division, much conflict, and it creates a lot of problems that really don't need to be there. I mean, you know, we all have, how do I say, our preferences, you know, and we may not prefer a certain thing or a certain experience. So just shift yourself, move out of it, move through it. Use your energy to move out of it, move through it, learn from it, and let go. Anyways, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my ramble. I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day or night. I have no idea where you are, but enjoy. Enjoy, and use your energy to create the necessary pressure that you need to move through things, or move away from things, or change things. That's all it is. You know, people complain a lot, people worry a lot, and it's just wasted energy. And you know, it's just wasted energy. Just use that energy to like rise above. Lift yourself up and out and through and move. All right. Blessings to one and all. Amen.